What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I actually have a couple of topics for you guys. The main topic is going to be an open discussion about the plus system, being reintroduced into Battlefield 6 and how everybody feels about a concept like that. And the first topic that I'm going to be discussing, a little smaller bit of a topic, is a little, something the devs put out there that people are worried about when it comes to the skins that will be implemented into Battlefield 6. But, ladies and gentlemen, of course, before we go ahead and hop in, if you guys are interested in more content like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post twice here. The first video goes live at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, and the second video goes live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So subscribe and hit that bell if you want to be notified on all this content. And also, if you guys want to catch any of my live streams, I stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And also today, on a little bit of an off, day, we're not going to be streaming, but I will be back on a Wednesday. But of course, if you guys want to keep up with all those streams, gotta link that channel down in the description of this video. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, the first post, as I said, is by Charlie Intel saying, Battlefield 6 developers on the realism aspect of the game and its cosmetics. We are a gritty, grounded, realistic shooter. That's what we intend to be, and that's what the game is going to look like for a while via IGN. And this post right here sparked a lot of drama within the Battlefield community because obviously the developers ahead of time said that this game is going to be firmly grounded. That's it. No ifs, no buts. It's going to be a grounded looking shooter with some cosmetics that might be a little out there, but nothing too crazy. And now it seems they're backpedaling a little bit, saying that it's going to look like this for a while. I want to know what you guys think about this overall post here because I'm very curious. I didn't want to put together a whole video about this because I already did, in the past. It'll just pretty much be me saying the same thing over and over and over again, so I don't want to bother with that. But I am curious how you guys feel about this overall post. Do you think that Battlefield 6 is going to stay solid throughout its whole life cycle, or do you believe that this statement means that for the beginning of Battlefield 6 it's going to be solid, and then, months down the road they're going to end up incorporating a bunch of flashy skins, maybe by the time that they introduce the BR into the overall experience? I've also seen a lot of people say that this probably means that Battlefield 6 will be grounded, but this doesn't mean that the future of Battlefield is going to stay that exact same way. Depending on the type of game that we get, the time period, so on and so forth, we might get some flashier skins down the road, but they're not necessarily talking about Battlefield 6 exclusively. Regardless, I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this down in the comment section below. But guys, as I stated, the main topic of today's video is an open discussion about the plus system. And of course, I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this. As always, you guys know that's my favorite part about YouTube, hearing what everybody's opinions are about all these, ideas. But I saw a post over on Reddit by Fresh Sport saying, we all agree this shouldn't come back, right? And obviously, it's an image of the plus system. And for those who are new to the overall Battlefield experience, the plus system was a system that was only in Battlefield 2042 and basically allowed you to deck out your gun in any which way, you possibly wanted. So before you hop into a game, you can go into the weapon of your choice. You can edit about 3 different scopes, 3 different magazines, 3 different underbarrels, and 3 different, regular barrels for the gun. And when you go into the overall match, you can go ahead and change the exact attachments whenever you feel like it. So let's say you have a red dot and out of nowhere you see a sniper across the map, and a blink of an eye, you could put on a long scope and try to engage with him, and so on and so forth. You have no suppressor on, and a blink of an eye, you could put on a suppressor really quick in the middle of combat. Now you're suppressed. Now, I've been seeing a lot of people defending this under the comment section, saying that it's actually a very good mechanic, and it was cool for the overall Battlefield scene. And I'll be real with you, when I first saw the plus system introduced into Battlefield 2042, I didn't think it was going to be that bad. Personally, if you go back and look at my previous content, I thought it was going to be cool. I thought it was going to be a fantastic system that would allow for a lot of variety within the overall Battlefield universe. But as time has gone on, and as Battlefield 2042 has, lived out its whole life cycle, I gotta be real, I hope we never, ever see the plus system reintroduced into the Battlefield experience ever again. And if they do reintroduce the plus system into Battlefield, maybe they should make it like a slower, system, where if you do put on a different scope, it might take like 5 to 10 seconds to go ahead, remove the scope. Maybe it's like an animation. You actually see yourself manually taking off your scope, going into your pack, bringing out another scope, reapplying, so on and so forth. It should be a longer sequence, because being able to switch in a blink of an eye was absolutely toxic. And again, I'm going to share exactly why. This allowed for players to basically dominate no matter what situation they were put in. And to me personally, that kind of kills the overall vibes of what Battlefield's all about. Before you go into battle, or before you go ahead and respawn, you set up your class for specific engagements. If you want to be a bit more stealthy, maybe you're going to put on a suppressor, maybe a red dot so you can get up close and personal, engage, flank. If you wanted to be a bit more long range, maybe you'll have a long barrel with a longer scope and a different type of grip, If you wanted to be in between, maybe you wanted to, be a bit more pushy or help your team, go ahead and cross. You can use underbarrels that are smoke grenade launchers, so on and so forth. You prep. You prep before your engagements. That's the whole fun factor of, not the whole fun factor, obviously. There's a lot of other things between, picking whether you want to be an assault, medic, engineer, working with your team, using vehicle. I mean, there's so many different reasons why Battlefield is fun. But one of the biggest factors is exactly that, your customization before going into battle. And when you come up against someone who is running something that's stopping your current build, when you die, you go back to the menu screen, you look at your weapon, you rearrange your attachments, and you spawn back into combat, and you go ahead and engage, and you start playing a different playstyle to overcome the opponents who are versing you. But the plus system kind of took that all away. It took away all the counterplay between classes because everybody had everything. And it wasn't really that unique. I'm going to be honest. It truthfully wasn't. Everybody had the same attachments. You had a red dot, a long scope, you had a suppressor, long barrel, or a compensator, you had 3 different magazines, and you had, a few different types of grips depending on the ranges that you're going to need. Everybody ran the same exact attachments, and as I stated, no matter what situation you were pushed into, you were able to combat it. It really did not change anything. And again, as I stated, it ruined that rock, paper, scissors, type of mentality when it comes to Battlefield, where you go in with a class and someone might be able to counter you. And when you die, you have to go back and re-edit your class to go ahead and re-counter them. And they might go ahead and edit their class to re-counter you again. Back and forth, back and forth. Pointless, You could run around with an assault rifle and manage anything. If you have to go into a building and clear it out, you could put on a short barrel, you could put on a red dot, you could put on a suppressor if you want to or something like that instead of the short barrel so you could stay suppressed. It doesn't matter. You could put on whatever you need on your rifle to deal with someone in a building. You could verse SMGs, you could verse shotguns, and you could still thrive. And then once you leave that building, someone could snipe you across the map and you could be like, okay, well, you know what? Let me quickly get behind cover, put on a long scope, put on a long barrel, let me engage with that sniper real quick. Take him down. Oh, wait, I need to actually progress here. Let me go ahead and go into my backpack, put on a smoke launcher. Let's shoot that down and go ahead and progress. You had everything at your fingertips. And I know some are going to argue that that is amazing, but for me personally, as I stated, it kills the vibes of the rock, paper, scissors mentality of Battlefield. Having to pick something, go with it, and if you need to counter someone else, you gotta die, or you work with what you got, which was fun. If I'm running around with a close range, rifle, and someone's sniping across the map at me, I can't switch in older Battlefield games. I have to think. I gotta use my brain and try to navigate the map to close the gap to give me a benefit, and the sniper rifle player will have to, try to counter that as well and keep me at a distance. It ruins it for the sniper player if I could just put on a long scope and start sniping at him with my rifle. It's no fun, right? It changes everything. And it really ruins the vibes. And on top of that, it allows for unlimited ammunition. That was probably the biggest factor of why the plus system was absolute garbage. Support was useless. You didn't need anybody to drop ammo for you because you have 3 separate magazines, and every time you change your mag, it gave you a complete new set of ammo. So if you go down to 0 on your first mag, and let's say you have 120 rounds in your reserve, but you use it all, you switch into your second mag, bam, magically out of nowhere, you have 120 bullets again. Go down to 0 on that one, bam, switch it again, 120 magical bullets appear into your reserve. It's ridiculous. You were basically, the plus system allowed you to be a one-man army, no matter what, which goes against everything about Battlefield. Battlefield is not a one-man army game. And as I stated, I can understand where some people are coming from with the plus system. And, I'm not saying it's bad if you enjoyed it. Please go down in the comment section and leave your opinions why you liked it and why you think they should implement it in future Battlefield games. I'm just sharing my personal opinion. I guess when I sound passionate, people think that I'm coming at their necks. I'm truthfully not. I don't care. I just like to, share my opinions. But I seriously think it takes away from that counterplay, and it ruins a lot of the team play with all the players that you're playing with. Like, rewind a little bit to the scenario where I'm talking about, I'm using the up-close and personal assault rifle, and I'm clearing out a building, and I go outside into a sniper rifle. We have recon players on my squad, so a recon player can spawn on me. I can't engage with the sniper rifle. My recon buddy can. I'll sit back. I'll wait behind cover. I'll let my sniper go ahead and handle the sniper, and then we progress, because the game is about team play, and the plus system does nothing but encourage solo play in every way, shape, and form. So I don't know about you guys, but I do not want to see the plus system reintroduced into Battlefield 6. I know it's not, right? It's not coming in, and this is just a debate that we see online, and I wanted to engage with this debate because I thought it was a very fun one. But I would like to never see it implemented into Battlefield 6, and honestly, I would like to never see it implemented into Battlefield ever again, just in general. And if they do, as I stated, it should be a long sequence. If I want to go ahead and take off my red dot and put on a big, huge sniper scope, I should be sitting down having to take ages to go ahead and do something of that sorts, while, the enemies can go ahead and close the gap on me. I feel like that should be the best way of handling it if they have to have it in the game. But if it were up to me, I would just like to see it scrapped for eternity. Takes away from the team play, and honestly, I think that Battlefield thrives much better without it. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget subscribing to that bell, post your daily at 8 in the morning Eastern Time. And we also double upload at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Everything between COD, Battlefield, Splitgate 2, Arc Raiders, Gears of War, pretty much any FPS or even third-person shooter that sparks my interest. I try to go ahead and, post on this channel as much as possible. So, of course, if you guys are interested, subscribing to that bell. And last but not least, I do stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, I will not be streaming today on Tuesday, but I will be back on Wednesday. And again, we're going to be playing some Gears of War Reloaded on Wednesday, Splitgate 2 on Thursday. We're going to actually be hitting up some Battlefield 2042, finishing up the Battle Pass on Friday. And believe it or not, we're going to play some Modern Warfare 3 2023 on Saturday. So if you guys want to check out any of those streams, you can find a link to that channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.